Everybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
Well, good morning, all you dogma snuggie wearers. Trying to come out of your dogma for at least an hour, twice a week. You can do it. You don't have to be so branded and ingrained. You can open your mind, your heart, your soul. We need a revolution, but we need a revolution of the heart. We need a revolution of the mind. That was Dorothy Day's quote. Oh, she's going to be sainted. That's who raised Megan Rice. We have some good news. Finally, on the news, very, very amazing news. Of course, we have some really heartbreaking things to talk about that are, I mean, really disturbing and really heartbreaking is the ties to these two creepy, low-life pieces of scum in Las Vegas who took the lives of 3 people, these misguided lunatics, and their ties to the Bundy Creek. I warned everybody. Started up Bundy dynamic, you know. I'm all for having debates on these different issues and whatever, but I knew it. I know that dynamic too well in southern Utah. And I knew to stay 10 miles away from it. And I knew. And you're going to see more and more coming. That's a creepy bunch of people down there, really hardcore. And Hannity and the bunch, I warned Hannity, going back, and the rumor down there, the sheriff wants to issue bench warrants for Glenn Beck. And I wouldn't be doubted. And he said this long before this happened, this tragedy happened. He said that they're putting my law officers at risk. And they are. And this lunatic, crazy wacko, there's an article coming out now, an interview right there. He's down there with them. He was on the Bundy Ranch for days. You know, this disturbed, creepy, evil little piece of filth. So heartbreaking. I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking. And I think Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck and KSL News right here, Governor Herbert, because they all throw in with it. They all owe their family members, their children, they all owe all of us a serious apology, beyond apology. They should be ashamed of themselves. Fox News, Sean Hannity, everybody that threw in should be so grotesquely ashamed. And the only thing this lunatic, creepy, scummy, filthy piece of shit that did this said, he said in the interview, he was, by the way, a convicted felon. Where the fuck's he getting all these guns? Convicted felon. It's outrageous. So over the top how lunacy the far-right freaking political process and Fox News, because they're worried, you know, they're getting desperate because their ratings are falling off a cliff because they told you to buy gold and they're breaking everybody and they've had everything dead wrong. Everybody's waking up to Operation Foxconn and the Queen's fucking mouthpiece beating the drums of war. They're losing ratings, so they're getting more radical and desperate. Well, this is the byproduct out of their ignorance. That kid said, What, I have to leave the ranch because I'm a convicted felon? Well, let me tell you, you're all felons now because, and it's a fact. It's a fact. And they know. All those people that showed up down there with their guns, they pointed guns. In their photographs and their surveillance, they had weapons pointed at federal and state law enforcement. Do you know what kind of felonies they've all committed? Are you kidding? You think they think they're going to get away with that? Oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, that's stuff you go to prison for 30 years for. And rightfully so. It's so outrageous. And I'll tell you what, every one of you who jumped in on this thing should be so ashamed of yourself. Yeah, I'm all for having states' rights sovereignty debates. But you can't just throw rock stock into. That's what everybody does. I mean, they're just all in because they don't think about it. They don't sit back and, view from the broader perspective and use their dynamics of their mind. That's my point of the dogma. And they play you like a fiddle. Fox News plays you like a fiddle. They play it. It's so heartbreaking. Those bunnies are creepy, creepy, creepy people. That whole dynamic has such a creepy aura about it. These are people that are friends with Warren Jeffs. I mean, come on. They don't get creepier. I knew it. I said it right off the get, long before I made the racist comments. Right, I says, you people are going to be sorry for throwing in with this fucking mooch and thieving. And you have seen the tip of the iceberg on this story. These guys are welfare fraud. These guys are these guys are, like I said, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that these fucking lunatics, just randomly, oh my God. This has got to be one of the most heartbreaking stories I've ever heard in my entire life. It makes me cry. What is the matter with people? Throwing in with this. Come on. Can't you have an intelligent debate with your mind? My Special Force Marine father, boy, you fight with your mind. It's so heartbreaking. The sheriff down there, and this is before this happened, was threatening to issue warrants for Hannity and Glen Beck. Glen Beck is a terrorist. Sean Hannity is a terrorist, hardcore. This person's a terrorist. They have been the whole time. You think about them beating the war drums. Saddam Hussein never did anything to one American. They beat it. They're terrorists. By definition, look up the word. I want you to look up the word. And you tell me Fox News does not meet that far. Even when I hear KSL, Doug Wright, these passive aggressives, the Mormon Church, just because they talk calmly and softly, they should be, the Mormon Church, the evangelicals in this country over what they've done the last 10, 15 years and went on, should be so grotesquely ashamed of themselves. The opposite of, they call themselves Christians, the opposite of any Christian teaching, the opposite. Doug Wright at KSL News, all of them, these people, the whole dynamic, they should be so, they're going to rot in hell. It's called to bear false witness. The Mormon Church, the KSL News, all of them, that's exactly what they've done. That's exactly what they've done. Love them. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. That was the people killing Jesus. Thou shalt not kill. It's so horrific and it's so sad what's happened to these soldiers. I am Pat fucking Tillman and the victims. I'm heartbroken for all these soldiers. They were conned. They were tricked. They beat the war drums on Fox and wrapped themselves up in the flag. And their parents, their school teachers, their dynamic here in Utah, they conned these. They're coaches. Oh, you're a patriot. Wrap yourself. They go join to better themselves, thinking they're doing the right thing. Next thing you know, they're thrown into that theater, being told to kill people that did nothing to them. They got to come home and deal with that. They can't. They're committing suicide in droves. We learn nothing from Vietnam. We learn nothing from Korea. We learn nothing. There's a reason all those Vietnam vets, what they were thrown to the wolves. And remember, they were drafted, but it's no different now. Might as well be a draft. We crushed the economy by getting rid of tariffs. People need a job. They're victims. These soldiers are victims. And I would like to say this to any soldier who's been in Iraq, Afghanistan, or any of these people. I have a really beautiful friend, and her son was killed, and she's struggling. She's struggling. She's blaming herself. I had her read East of Eden, and it's not your fault. You young man, it's not your fault. It's not. It's not your fault. you're victims. You're not going to hell for this. You hang in there. All of you, hang in there. You know, you didn't do this. They did this to you. Now, this creep, he did it. It violates me. Let's talk about some good news. There's new technology coming out this morning. It's being reported by one of the great bloggers and vloggers, these techies that are all over this. There's a patent out there that Apple has. Apple has it. This is so gigantic. What Apple's claiming, that they have it, not claiming, they've got it. They have it on the touch screen of your iPad, your iPhone, your watch, anything that you have. There is a solar. It's going to be able, there's going to be two little sensors inside the screens. Even in partial sunlight, are going to be able to power these devices from simply the sun. Going for a walk, sitting on your porch, even in partial sunlight. Now think about this on twofold. One, the implications of this device. If they have that, that device will be able to link into other devices inside the home. Everything. I mean, this is so gigantic. They have it. Two, as we know, technology in the past, companies have come out with it, but the big oil companies and the big energy cartels, the nuclear cartel, just simply smashes it. They fucked up this time. The energy cartel has met their match. Why? Apple's the biggest company on the face of the earth. They're bigger than the oil companies. They're bigger than the nuclear cartel. $240 billion in cash and counting. The slave owners that they are. Slaves in China, paying no taxes. They are not the 800-pound gorilla in the room. They're the whole fucking mass fucking herd of gorillas. The oil companies and the fucking energy cartel, this is their worst fucking nightmare. Because none, it's a company who has it. They have the technology. Two, they have all the resources in the world to develop it. They have the branding. They have it all. There's no way. The energy cartel can't fight these monsters. It's a giant, giant story. Buffett gets it. Buffett come out this morning. $30 billion. He's going in solar. $30 billion. And let's talk about Buffett. There's really a great photograph here. Our university, Bill Childs, when he sold R.C. Willey's to Buffett, here, he became a board member. I know Bill Childs very personally. He donated a whole bunch of Berkshire stock to the university. So our school, we take a group of students back to the Berkshire Class A shareholder meeting every year. I've gone a few times. You have to have what they call the yellow party. You have to have 100 shares of Berkshire Class A to go to that party. Do the math. Yeah. Oh, only $20 million you have to have. So it's exclusive. It's something else. We get to go. 2000, I'm with the legendary, great finance professors. Clyde Cooley had just passed, and I was helping Kyle Madison teach the program, and Kyle passed away. We're all at the thing, and that was the only year Buffett was having a little bit of struggle. He was not outperforming the market like he always does because of the technology boom, and he even had it right then. April 2000, I walked through the line, and I says, Mr. Buffett, he got all his security lined up. I says, you know, I got something to say about you having a bad year. He was really snooty about it. What's that? And I says, even Babe Ruth had slumps. I knew he loved baseball. And so I walk off, and Kyle's like, look, he's waving you back. He's waving you back. And so I went over there. He had the biggest grin. He had his photographer take a picture with me. He sent it to our university. I don't know where it's at. Who knows? Because that whole dynamic's been hijacked. We will go from the #1 university. I'm blackballed. Everybody's blackballed. All our key professors passed away of cancer. That's what happens here. That's how people go here in Utah. Buffett gets it right. Buffett always gets it right. He's one of these old school guys. He's, well, a rare bird. He's able to step back and view the broader perspective in the big picture. He's a fundamentalist. You know, I've been saying buy Apple since 45 in the derivative. I won't participate in these scumbag weasels. The derivatives have nothing to do with the stock. Nothing. They don't support the stock. All they are is a bet, whether it's going up or down. I'll plan. That's what I did. They were developed to hedge portfolios. Real hedge funds, not these phony scam artists that fucking emerge that you guys all threw your money to. The real ones outperform every year in, year out for years. That's what I did. We're very conservative. Went on the company that I used to work for before I got cancer, before this whole madness happened to me. We take high dividend yield stocks, and I hedged a lot of charitable foundations, and we buy derivatives as an insurance policy underneath them. They're conservative, and they continually outperform. Apple's earnings are so over the top and so incredible, but stocks even so grossly underpriced. I mean, the forward multiple, look at the forward multiple compared to all these other companies. Their forward multiple is 1/3 all these other companies are. I mean, they're a beast. Buffett knows it. I'm telling you, it's starting to happen all over the world. Even I get a lot of reports out of China. A lot of reports out of China. We get sold this bill of goods at, Westinghouse. But by the way, does it not blow your mind that Toshiba bought Westinghouse? Look it up. They still use the word Westinghouse, Hillary, Westinghouse, Glen, Brock, Barry Antoinette let them eat all cake. We will watch the hearings. We see them breaking ranks inside these parties. It's outrageous to me that we're sold. United States right here, because I spent a couple days with Christina, that chick was here, and it was really, an incredible to synergize with a person like that. Her and I have been all over this from day one. Be able to have these conversations, be able to have these talks, be able to understand the dynamic. We both have a lot of things going on, and a lot of people we talk to that you can't tell from our YouTube videos and our social media. A lot more going on. Even though, I have so many contacts in China and Japan and around England, all over. Look, they know the truth of Fukushima. In China, you think here in the United States, they're going all sort. Westinghouse is building this plant, blah. There is such an anti-nuclear movement going on in Asia right now. Gigantic. I mean, some of the most protests you ever seen. They don't want any part of it. Technology that they understand, and that's where America's going to fall behind. Come on. The United States has got $18 trillion in debt. They're broke off their ass. Yeah, companies like Apple and Google and, all these companies are parking, they don't pay any taxes and no tariffs. They've been able to, these oligarchs and these scumbag bankers and the wealth, they've been able to loot this country simply because they can. Because Operation Foxconn, the very people, the lowest socioeconomic status there are, support the very wealthiest because of Foxconn, just like this crazy lunatic. These people influence these lunatics. Tariffs are bad. When the only tool there's ever been in economics in the history of mankind to support the middle class, there's only ever been one tool, tariff. Raise taxes, we don't need to raise taxes. We don't need to cut programs. We don't need to do either one. Same thing Hamilton did. Same thing freaking Abraham Lincoln did. Same thing McKinley did. Same thing both Roosevelts did. Same thing most all presidents did until Reagan took over and Operation Foxconn went to work hardcore. And the right freaking drank the Kool-Aid and became jolly old England. That's who we are. Make no mistake about it. We are a colony. The United States is a colony of the House of Windsor now, just like we were in 1774. And a revolution? Yeah, we need a revolution of the heart, of the mind. We don't need ignorance. I've named it post-ignorance. We need post-ignorance. We need people that think. We don't need people that freaking knee-jerk off freaking this, like what happened down there. I mean, it's so over the top and so grotesque that these people have thrown in. I mean, these people are criminals. These are criminals. This is a society of 320 million people. Oh, we're going to be free market ferry. What are you going to all be, a farmer? Let me tell you something. That all went away with Fukushima. The jet stream. What? These the free market will clean up the nuclear waste that exists in this country. You know how much nuclear waste is in this country? So the technology, and you can see the writing on the wall. Exactly what. We degraded public utilities all through the night. This whole free market fairy tale didn't just open up to New World Order, Old World Order, turn us into the neoclassical feudals that we are. But it did so much more right here. We deregulated public utilities. I mean, it was the big thing. I was a financial advisor and strategist here, and I made a lot of people a lot of money. I was very, very good about it, very conservative. And these people were recognized recommending buying these energy stocks because that's old school. Old school, you bought an energy stock because they were they were public utilities. Public. Look it up, the word, public utilities. Giant regulation committees. They couldn't do anything without the public. We deregged them. Completely deregged them all through the 90s into the 2000s. So people were buying Energy Solutions stock right here. It was the number one stock for these old retired people. That's what they have to do. Because Alan Greenspan, I love how all you people quote Atlas Shrugs. Really? She was a science fiction writer, born in freaking Leningrad, Russia. She was insane, by the way. Those books are pathetic. She is what L. Ron Hubbard is to Scientology. She is to the neo-far right, Paul Ryan, Rand Paul lunatic. She never claimed to be an economist. She was on public subsistence for years. She never claimed to be an economist. She was a science fiction writer. Those books are pure science fiction fairy tale land. They're ridiculous. They're laughable. Any economist with any book, they are laughable. Milton Friedman, what? That guy, you want to talk a fool. It just shows you how you incorporate these things. He wants to talk about Adam Smith, free market. You know, look up how many people were on Earth when Adam Smith. How many people lived in the United States then? It's so ridiculous. It's laughable. It is laughable. We're referring to the line plan. It just shows you how pathetic we have representative government and what our Congress is. It's simpler. I have oligarch friends who are assholes. They'll say, Kevin, Warren Buffett says this. So many of them say, Warren Buffett says it beautifully. I want to do more. It's not fair. It is not fair. I want to pay more of my share. I want to get more of equality because this is not fair. Yet the very people that it is destroying, socioeconomic, will support the very system that it is. It isn't fair. It's not a fair deal because it is rigged. The game is rigged because there are no tariffs. It is not fair for a company in the United States to try to compete with a company in China, which they're American businessmen, GM, Caterpillar. As American goes, as GM goes, America goes. So true. GM went broke. Remember GM? They didn't go broke. The oligarchs didn't go broke. You know, their board of directors, the shareholders. The shareholders the stock went to zero. You know, I did that video about the Dow. Apple's going to go in the Dow. That's why they did this. That'll be another huge pop for this thing. They took GM out of the Dow. Of course, that's what they do. The Dow's on Dow's propaganda. GM, you can look up, look what GM's trading at now. Yeah, they expired all the stock. You all went broke. And they reissued new stock in China. They're in China. They're Caterpillar, GM, all these, Apple. There's nothing American about them. Nothing. They don't employ anybody here. They use slaves. They're workforce and slaves. You know, these factory workers will make it too much in Detroit. Oh, really? You think $50, $60 an hour is a lot of money? Look up what these guys make. I mean, the economic status that's being developed right now over the last decade, the last 15, 20 years, is creating the wealthiest people in the history of humanity. These people are becoming richer than even the Industrial Revolution, even better than the kings and the royals and the feudals. Corporate elites? Oh, yeah. CEOs of corporations, corporate board members. How can these companies not make gigantic money? And remember, Fox News is the one. Glenn Beck's telling you this. Glenn Beck belongs in. He's a terrorist on so many ways, and he claims to be a Mormon from here. By the way, I'm a Mormon. They haven't kicked me out yet. I mean, a little one from quintessentials. You know, I like all these Romney, him, all these people. None of them are from here. Glenn Beck is a freaking George Bush 12-step alcoholic. I used to be all fucked up on the dope. Now I'm all fucked up with the Lord. This guy belongs in a fucking jail cell. He is beyond a fucking lunatic. These guys are telling you to sell your Dow at $6,500. And I have the data from State Street, the clearinghouse. I know the data. Do you know how many people filed for redemptions in 2008 and 2009? 83% of 401k holders filed for redemptions. 83% either pulled money out or readjusted at the very wrong time at $7,000, $6,500. On the advice, these guys are going crazy. And I'm doing the opposite. I'm like, no, this is the greatest buying opportunity you'll ever see. Double down. I even said that in August of 11. Double down when Kramer, there's another one. CNBC, you listen to those guys. I know a guy who did his PhD on Kramer. He tracked Kramer and CNBC. He broke them all down in your money. If you followed their advice, you're so fucking broke if you followed their advice. That's what people do. So, you unloaded your fucking equities, your fucking 401k, I hate 401ks, they're scam. I'm all for managing your own money. You can do it. People do it all the time. I mean, I had some idiots here that inherited wealth. I had them short GM, because I knew they were going to go clear back in the 2000s. I mean, these were inherited people with $10 million and punks. They screwed me, because that's what these idiots do. Then I had, I saw when Bear Stearns freaking went back. I knew Merrill Lynch was going. Had them fucking in the derivative market down there. So I don't buy stocks. I buy the options out of the money because I won't participate in these scumbags. I each bought them. These are inherited wealth, two punks here that I know. Inherited $10 million each. I had them both. My Obama got elected. I had them buy $1.5 million worth of Apple. Their wives had a fit because they were watching Fox News. The one's father was a school teacher from here. He come out here. No, Apple was $89. Oh, it's $94 today? Yeah, there's 7 for 1, 7 times. No, these guys bought the Kool-Aid, just like everybody else did. I'm all for owning gold in your portfolio. I'm all for it. And silver as a portion of a portfolio is a very good, diverse portfolio. And then it's a good diverse portfolio, 4 or 5 components to it. Over diversification is the worst thing you can do. I'm all for it. But when you go all in at 1945, silver and gold, it's called opportunity cost. Crushed, destroyed. Now, maybe gold will become another good buy at some point. But it sure wasn't at 1900, 1800, 1700, which everybody did. And so when the Dow went from 6,000, said, what else is paper? What? What do you think the exchange of goods is? I used to teach this class. We would go all the way back to the beginning. For a long time, people used feathers, rocks, all kinds of things. Gold. There's some kind of mentality out there that there's only X amount of gold out there to fill X amount. Gold isn't. It's just like diamonds. Gold and diamonds are not precious freaking stones. Gold's not a precious commodity. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's like a diamond. Diamonds are everywhere. It's the greatest monopoly in the history of mankind. De Beers. Rhodes. Carl Rhodes. It still exists. The greatest monopoly in the history of mankind is the diamond industry. It still exists to this day. It conned you to spend X amount of money to buy a diamond. I mean, if you're getting married and you're going to buy your girl a diamond, are you crazy? You've been so scammed. I mean, I get so turned off when I see a diamond on a girl's hand. Well, that diamond is very real. It represents everything that is wrong with this world, a diamond. You go buy her a rock with something cool. Have one made. Go find your precious stone. I like little fossils rocks. And that'll put a good comment on her. Diamonds. Same with gold. The greatest open-pit copper mine right here, the Queen, Rio Tinto. Who is Rio Tinto? Oh, yeah, the House of Windsor. Uranium mines, they're all back to those freaking creeps. There's Goldsman mines. I live out here. Go out to northern Nevada. Go out there. You don't see the stirrup mining process out there at Newmont? Oh, my God, what they've done the last decade. See, some of these mining techniques, it takes $1,000 an ounce to break even point. So it never happened. It never happened. Oh, when it went crazy. Now, you people, there were some people in 2000, 2001, 2002 that bought gold, $300, $400 an ounce. Maybe that was a great move. That's what investment is. If you don't want any speculating, absolutely. Absolutely. Gambling, you fucking rights. It's all gambling. I tell people all the time, unless you're going to be very sophisticated about it, put your money in the bank. Yeah, the bank ain't going to go no interest, and they'll con you so that you can't outperform inflation. So what? I mean, that's your only opportunity. Let it sit there. Or find a fund manager, a real fund. I mean, look them up. They list them all over. It's like these guys that went in with Mel Bell down in Sarasota, Florida. What a scam, man. And this moody fucker that was fucking sharking the money walks. I mean, It's listed. The information's available. There's fund managers out there that consistently beat the market half for 30 years. The same fund. That's who you should be investing with. I mean, that's who, you know, the small group of investors I had, of course, most of them are dead. And, I mean, they just look at me now, and I mean, I run into those two. Their wives made them sell. I said, do you realize you scammed yourself out of, and they both went broke, by the way. Neither one of them ever got a job. I do not believe in inherited wealth. I think about my grandfather now. You know, I used to think, why did he do that? Why did he leave all his wealth, my great-grandfather and all of them? Why did they leave all their wealth to charity, every penny of it? I get it. It's the American thing to do. Warren Buffett talks about it. It's the American thing. Inherited freaking wealth that's an old English thing. Didn't we have a Revolutionary War? Always fought. Tariffs are American. You know, the strong middle class. To be born into wealth and this whole hyperbole that you're going to throw in with the Bundys and that's how you're a revolutionary, you're the opposite of a revolutionary. You know, you might as well join up with Longshank's freaking army. You're falling right into there. You're falling prey. Look, this is a 320 million freaking populace. We're a people. We, the people. We, the people. There's nothing I about this. We're in this together. We share roads together. We share hospitals together. We share law enforcement together. We share freaking fire departments together. We are we as a people. Now, we have these oligarchs and these creeps that are able to loot this system because we allow it. Look, these creeps fly their little jets in. We have the tax reports. We maintain the airports. We pay the air traffic controllers. We build the roads. We build the hospitals. We fund all these. They use all of that, yet they don't want to put anything back in. If the mentality in this country is to simply loot this country and hate this country, I hate what we stand for now, upside down, but I still believe in we as a people. There are a lot of great people out there. There's a lot of people that care. There's a lot of people, they've been misguided, they've been conned, they've been overworked. Fuck, they're stressed out wrecks. You know, Christine, we talked about, you know, look at, you know, because one of my big things is look at what people look like. How beautiful people were. You know, in this town, this was the beautiful people place. All the beautiful people came here, because where I'm standing live, right here, I come up here and sit on the bleachers at Mount Ogden Park. I watch the sun come up here. You want to talk spectacular? You want to talk one spectacular? I'm sitting right here on the bleachers watching it now. To be honest, spectacular. It's got to be one of the most beautiful places on the face of the earth. People came here, but now they can't even see it. They can't see it because they're so stressed out. They're getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, come home at 6 at work. I tell people all the time, you know, unless you're making a lot of money and you're a hawk stock business, these people are just spinning their wheels. One of you in that family, quit your fucking job. Stay home, maintain the household, raise the children. You know, find a part-time job. You know, do it because you're getting nowhere anyway. Get rid of your shit. You know, restructure your fucking debts. You get your priorities where they belong. Wealth is not money. Wealth really has nothing to do with fucking money. Wealth is knowledge. Wealth, you know, is a camp. You don't have to go camping. I mean, I like to, but I do it in a different form. I mean, right there in your freaking neighborhood, I walk, you know, when I travel, and I think that's been a big piece of my survival of cancer is my walking meditation. It slows everything down. You know, you can walk on the busiest streets there are, and there's beauty there. The animals learn to adapt. The beauty of nature exists. It's there. I mean, I walk the whole peninsula of San Francisco. I love to walk in Manhattan, by the way, especially Lower Manhattan. It's spectacular. It really is. People forget about the geography of those peninsulas on those beautiful oceans and those freaking waters. They're grand. Here, it's spectacular. But people don't do it. It's simply, you know, go for a walk. Spend some time. You know, that's what I do. I always have. I never gave that part up. Everybody else did. You know, that part of it. And I understand that you've been had. I know you've been had. I know that you're freaking overworked. I mean, I really believe the obesity. You know, Christina was talking about the thyroid. You know, boy, it's so true. You think about, you know, radiation and thyroid. We call it Utah smiley face here, always have. We've watched it. It destroys these people. I mean, I really think so much of this is radiation into the atmosphere. It, you know, has changed the way people look, has changed the way people live. But I break it more down to economics, well, twofold. One person working 40 hours a week, you have time to be happy. You have time to read a book. You have time to go to walks. You have time to picnic. You have time to read literature. You have time to, view from a broader perspective. Two people working 65 hours a week, these poor kids, and it's been that way for 20, 30 years, just like these two creeps that pulled this. Fuck. Obviously, they were never taught anything. Obviously, they never learned anything. It is so outrageous. I hope the sheriff down there does it. He's threatening to. He's been saying he's going to do it. He'll show a bench warrant for Glenn Beck's arrest. Glenn Beck's a terrorist. Sean Hannity, a hardcore terrorist. I said, I did that video that day when Sean Hannity was going all into it. I said, you're going to regret this, Hannity. This was long before Bundy made the right, because I'm a dynamic. Know who these people are. I grew up here. I lived here my whole life. Us as Utahns growing up here, we saw this firsthand. We saw the evolution of the FLDS and the Mormon Church and the fight there within. They ran those fuckers out of here. And they went down there when I knew David O. McKay personally, president of the Mormon Church in the 60s. He was the only progressive liberal, really. Well, so was Hinckley, by the way. Not all the leaders of the Mormon Church have been Kool-Aid drinking lunatics like the whole hierarchy is now. They should be ashamed of themselves. We've had some great ones. David O'Kane was an incredible man. Oh, was he amazing, man. I knew him personally. Our families were he was a beautiful person. They ran those fuckers the fuck out of here. The hardcore fucking radical fucking lunatics, we're going to start our own government, Yeah, the Mormons did that in 1847. They come out, come on. People lived out here. But the Mormons, the only way they were able to survive is they made peace with a lot of the natives, which they still do, by the way. The Ute Indian tribe and the University of Utah and the state of Utah have a very good relationship. Now, the Ghost Shoots don't. The Ghost Shoots out there in the Energy Solutions dump site, you got to realize the tribal people have been hijacked by their own, too, inside. Well, not even their own. Some people come in the India casino dynamic, which is nothing but a bunch of Vegas creeps who went in there. They're being had by their own people, just like we are, because they don't give back. I was raised different. My father, my grandparents were incredible, incredible people, iconic people in the society, really iconic people. They believed that the gift of life, you were given a gift the day you were born. And it's a beautiful, incredible landscape. And the trade-off for that gift is you give back to society. You give back, not just leaving it in inherit, go make a bunch of money and leave it in some pseudo de facto and then an endowment out. You did it while you were alive. You protected the children. You stood up and fought for causes that were just and right. And we all know what's just and fucking right. We all know. We're not in kindergarten. Oh, everybody's doing it. That's this punk. So it's okay. We're not in kindergarten. We're adults with logical minds. We know we're off our money. Yet we don't freaking participate. It's cost me a big, big price in the last 20, 30 years. I left Wall Street because of this. My financial calls that I've made in the last 3 or 4 years right on Utah, if I was still on Wall Street, I'd be probably a billionaire. My doctor talks about it at the hospital. He says, Kevin, I really believe, if you wouldn't have left there and stayed here, and it was the environment, and it was all this cancer death that made me stay here, and boy, did I pay a hard, hard price. It's been horrible. It's been really horrible fighting for my life the last 3 years, full of freaking cancer. So broke. I didn't get any disability. I didn't get anything. I don't know how I've been able to do it. I look back on it. I got a few people here and there that have been wonderful via YouTube that have sent me donations, small money. That's how I've been able to survive. And thank goodness when it happened, I didn't have much debt. It's been horrible. I don't know how I did, but what is it? I traveled, a lot of paper, so much of these things, and I've been able to talk to people, and I've been able to relate to people, and I've really renewed my love affair with the Utah landscape, which I never left her anyway. She's always my love, right where I'm at. The best things in life are free. We've been co-opted. They say, freedom isn't free. No, freedom is free. You've been co-opted by the military-industrialized complex. Now, don't just listen to the cliche that Eisenhower said. Read it. Read it. He warned us. It's not going to happen. Could happen. And you can't fight it back. We've got a saying out here out west. You're a gun. If you fight with your mind. My father was right. I look back him, that beautiful soul that he was, boy, you fight with your mind. I mean, I don't like bullies. I don't like intimidation tactics. Yeah, I'm radical and I'm intense in my thing, and I don't put up with fucking shit, and I won't. You fuckers want to attack me, anybody wants to attack me, get ready, fucker. You come get in my face and throw a swing at me, I'm going to bag of fucking dirt. And that's a fact. I've always been that way. But I don't attack people. Randomly, these creepy fuckers randomly just go, it's so fucking heartbreaking. And then when somebody sent me an email yesterday and says, "Is with Bundy?" I'm like, oh, no. No. You just wind it up, and well, because, look, Sean Hannity's ratings are falling. These guys got so addicted to their millions and millions, so they're getting more radical. Glenn Beck is freaking mentally ill as it gets. It's heartbreaking. It is sad. It is ripped, but they crossed the line this time. You know, the sheriff said it. He said it long before this happened. He says, we backed out of there because people like Glenn Beck and Sean Hannity and their rhetoric are putting my law enforcement men and women at risk. They did the right thing backing out of there. But I'm here to tell you, everybody that was there pointing guns at us, you think you're going to get away with that? You're not. You're not. I mean, it's like Capone. How did they take him down? Oh, they found ways. They're going to find ways. It's sickening. It's actually sickening. And Glenn Beck is very responsible for this. So is Sean Hannity. And I warned Hannity. I warned Hannity and these guys. You can watch my videos. You know, you can have these state sovereignty rights arguments, but have them intelligent. And what is my line? What is my line I've been saying on this YouTube site every day? Cordial conversations are dangerous, passionate, intelligent arguments get results. Keyword intelligent. These are unintelligent arguments you're having. You don't look at the freaking broader dynamic behind the scenes, that the Bundys are corporate welfare frauds. They are welfare scammers. Not a few $100s here and there. By the tens of millions, look, they're ranging on property that does not belong to them. Look, you all pay property tax. Go to Ireland. First thing, Irish cab driver, anybody's going to ask you, how come you guys in America can't own anything? What do you mean? Property tax. We all pay property tax. It's just like Medicaid here. They cut me off my freaking insurance here without even acknowledging me because we have and by the way, Dirty Herbie threw in with Bundy. He did. He made plenty of statements. So did KSL. So did the Mormon Church. Yeah, because he's more FLDS. I mean, this is really a dichotomy that is evolving here. Then the Mormon Church really is trying to spin out of this now. KSL yesterday, they're trying to spin. They know that they are the devil. They know Doug Wright, they're passive aggressive. They used to play Sean Hannity for 2-3 hours a day. They're responsible for the death of so many of their young men. They're responsible for the looting of this country. In the name of Christian, no, they're not Christians. None of them. The evangelicals too. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should be hardcore ashamed of themselves. Ignorance is no excuse. Ignorance is a lazy, lazy choice. Those wars should have never happened. Never. They're perforated on scams, and they all got away with it. And people profited. The war profiteers went crazy. Fox News is purely war profiteers and beat the drums. They're directly responsible for what happened down there. Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity are absolutely accessories to fucking murder. You fucking are there. I mean, it is vile. It's like this time they have crossed the fucking line. Well, they crossed the line a long fucking time ago. It's not journalism. We know it as yellow journalism. I came up with the term black and yellow journalism. That's the intentional fucking making statements about which not a group that did, which is a criminal. Passion Anderson intentionally, I don't know if it's for profit or what it's for, making false statements about Fukushima. I term that black and yellow journalism. I think it's one of my best that I came up with, science fiction, economics, all this. But the fact is the bottom line to all this comes down to personal integrity. We're not kindergartners. We're not little children. We're grown adults. We know wrong and right. We know the difference. And you can fall for this hyperbole, which is wrong. We are we, and the jet stream tells me that, all of it. For not to respect other human beings. I don't care if you disagree with them philosophically, to group all law enforcement into one. Yeah, we know there's plenty of freaking perfect. Yeah, I mean here, shit. How many people the cops have killed? There's bad cops all over, but there's good ones too. To group it all into a big mass, and that's what they did down there. That's what they did. They knee-jerked. I mean, it's a fat autographs. People down there lining up, pointing weapons at federal and state law enforcement. Do you know what kind of felonies that is? Oh my God. I mean, it's so scary that these people are that brass, and they think they're going to get away. They're not. They're not. The acute nature of this and rational, logical thinking minds will take the field. Yeah, sometimes it takes a long time. And we're coming to grips with the looting of even neocons who dug in, Colin Powell, believed Rumsfeld, believed in freaking all these false. Even I have friends like that. They're starting to see it now. I mean, I have friends that say, Kevin, I wish I'd have listened to you 10 years ago. And they're starting to say, whoa, you were so right, this country was looted. We were scammed. Yeah. We need a revolution of the mind. You can't, I mean, like I said, we have a saying out west here, you're outgunned. Yeah. The government is corrupt at every aspect. The state of Utah is so good, and if you don't believe me, look up the city and the two attorney generals. They're both, to me, the city attorney general Swallow, Mike Lee, funneling illegally. Why Mike Lee's house is in foreclosure, by the way. You know, he used to have a sign on his door. Why he was practicing, he says, for sale, Swallow. Said it was a joke. It was no joke. Now it's coming in, him and Lee both for sale. That's the problem. But we as the voter, we don't see this. We fall for the fox news hyperbole. Look, why don't we dig into the background of these? These are people. These are individuals. You know, it doesn't matter what they say. Let's understand what they do. Actions speak louder than words. It's not freaking all. I mean, come on. Like I said, what happened down there, it's one of the most heartbreaking stories I've ever heard in my life. These two law enforcement that were killed have children. I mean, do we have no respect for human life? Did Iraq really do that? Did Afghanistan do it to the point that we all hate each other to the point, yeah, and these guys are saying, cut them off Medicaid, and people stand up and cheer and clap? Well, they'll probably just die. Yeah, let them die. Really? Really? Where is the compassion? Where is the humanity? Where is the fucking soul? That's what this fucking country is based on. That is the foundation, fundamental fucking basis of this country. We, the people. We fought against the English system for this very reason. The very first thing we did was put a tariff at the port. The first thing, Alexander Hamilton paid himself 0.0. The treasurer said, the first employees of this country were the Coast Guard. Collecting duties coming into the port in New York City. It was a fight over the East India Company, which Walmart, Apple, all these guys are the new modern-day East India Company. That's who they are. Looting? Yeah. I think the story is so incredible about Apple. It's going to be the biggest company on earth, and that's my videos I've done. We're doing on Apple long before Fukushima happened. My whole thing. I think it's such an incredible historical irony that Steve Chinese Jobs died of cancer. Could have been the richest man on earth at the time. Well, definitely would be today. And I wasn't able to save him. All the technology, the greatest technology company maybe in the history of mankind. His brilliant genius mind, marketing mind. Yet, he went along with the usury complex. He moved the jobs to China from California when it only costs $4 more to make an iPhone in California. It's morality. That is the bottom line. You can blame politicians all you want. You can blame all these people. They call it grassroots for a reason. It is us. We the people. We're the ones that have gone along with this. Yeah, you fight back intelligently. But the only way we survive is if we start loving each other. Caring about each other. Even if we disagree. Now, look, you can't let a person attack. I don't. These fuckers, knee-jerk, punk-ass fuckers, and their one-liner fucking pieces of shit come at me. Oh, I'll fucking come right. You want to come take a swing at me? I'm going to drop you like a fucking bag of dirt so fast it's going to make your fucking head spin off. But I do not attack people. No. When you hear my videos, I do it broadly. I talk about baby boomers. I talk about the American populace. I talk about all of it in a broad context. But if you're going to attack me on an individual basis, you are wrong. And if you think you're going to attack me on an individual basis and you're going to get away with it, you're dead fucking wrong. Because people that do that are like this creepy little fucking punk. He goes attacks 2 officers that he doesn't even fucking know. 3 people. What? What? I mean, it's so grotesque and so over the top. And Sean Hannity and Fox News, I mean, you listen to some of the statements that Sean Hannity and Fox News make. They're broadcasting live from down there. Not just whipping this up. It's beyond whipping this up. They have the right to say whatever they want under the First Amendment. Of course, I believe they're being funded by the CIA. I believe it's Operation Foxconn. You know, remember in the 90s, it was a lot leaner, smaller? And don't you love Hillary coming out now, saying, oh, we were broke when we left. Well, broke? Really? I thought freaking the pension that a United States president's got broke. I mean, what a grotesque statement she made. Yeah, we were down to a couple million, so we were broke. Wow. Well, people in this country really know what broke is. I mean, people are working 2 jobs, 65 hours because they're so far in debt, and they're so greedy. The working poor is so real. Look at the participation rate. Yeah, we got a 2-headed monster going on. We have the corporate oligarch elites. We have a demographic of people in San Francisco and New York City that are getting filthy, stinking rich. I mean rich. Then we have the vast population that is poor. I mean, think about the illegal immigration problem. Is it really the hungry person from the South? No, it's the person paying them cash. Because you're willing to have, oh, look, I got these slaves mowing my lawn, cooking my food, working on my house. Well, you don't think they know that? Just think about Claude. I was a stucco contractor here, 10,000 jobs. I never freaking participated in that. My men were paid well. I did it right. You think about it. You're illegal. You're being exploited on a construction job. You think you're going to do your best work, even if they are skilled? Hell no. They know they're being exploited. Who's exploiting? Look who the contractors are. Look who the restaurateurs are. They're not craftsmen anymore. They're scammers. They're used car salesmen. They know how to exploit people. That's what they do. And they know that these people can't go cry to nobody, so they slip them cash. They underpay them over and over and over. They're just scamming the system. So that's what we've turned into as a country. You can't make it. You can't make it. You can't come up in the old days like I did, start a classroom at 16 years old, develop your craft and apprentice and work and do things right. Because if you do that, you will fail because your competition is cheating the system and everything. They're not paying any taxes into the system. They're paying cash into the system. They're exploiting. So it's illegal. But we as a people, we accept it. I remember calling the state when it was going on in the 90s. Oh, no. I said, well, come on. That's the law. What, we just pick and choose the laws we enforce? You know? Tyler Plain Wilson outed as the CIH felonies. All these felonies that these bankers, these politicians have committed, yet we do nothing to them. Mike Lee. Illegal campaign contracts being funneled by buy here, pay here, and against federal law, stuff you go to jail for. Oh, no, we're just going the sitting attorney general here, his own party, finds it on, I think, 36 different cases. He obstructed justice. Why the investigation? He probably committed a couple hundred felonies. Is he going to go to jail? Oh, hell no. Because we the people. Oh, it's okay. He didn't hurt us. Really? He didn't hurt you. Why do you think you're working 65 hours a week? Why do you think you got really debt? Passive aggressive, it doesn't matter if it's, I mean, that's why I do it the way I do it. I'm trying to counter these passive aggressive monsters who have tricked you and had you and conned you in their hairspray. I mean, come on. Like I said, we know wrong from right. Every single one of us know wrong from right. We know that these things are wrong. And how do they change? They change from the grassroots up. Not from the top. Franklin Roosevelt, he was an oligarch. What happened? How did he change? He says it himself. The populace, the people changed me. The populace of this country, these guys watch polls like you would not believe. They know. They know if the populace would get real about the environment in New Mexico, about wood leaking, about the spent fuel and the waste stored all over this country. You know what these fuckers are going to do in the narco cartel. You can see the writing on the wall. They're fucking done. Just like they did at San Onofre. They loot, they loot, they loot, they loot. The stock and Energy Solutions, they're bankrupt. Goes from $35 to $3.50 a share. In an up market. CLC, these are the people in charge of our nuclear waste. San Onofre generator parked illegally out there. Hot waste leaks all over. When they don't have hot waste out there. When Ratner reports that they have. It's so outrageous. They're just going to park these things like a broken down old fuck car. They're limp it fucking everything they have with the taxpayer subsidy, and they're just going to say, bye, see you. Now you fucking clean it up. Well, the country's fucking broke. So who the fuck's going to clean it up? There's only one answer. Put a rocket in each fucking reactor. Every single dump site, put a rocket right there. Load it up and shoot it into fucking space. Yeah, horrible answer? You're fucking right, it's a horrible answer. But keep making more. Megan Rice did what she did. Megan Rice is a giant. She knows all this. She broke into Y-12 because the Manhattan Project gone amok. Y-12 is burning waste. I'm the one that reported that 2 years ago, by the way. And everybody says, oh, you're crazy. No, they just admit it. Yeah, they're burning nuclear waste. They do it all over. Because they're just like, look at the American. They're so caught up in this Fox News freaking hyperbole knee-jerk bullshit that they're not, we can tell them right in their face, and nobody will report it. I catch that Energy Solutions truck going right through East Layton here in a residential neighborhood. I send it to the media here. I talk to Keith McCord personally. I talk to the number one news anchor in the state who had cancer, who's in the room next to me. Early detection. I says, why don't you talk about the causation? These guys driving out here. What do you think? It's illegal. It's illegal. State won't do anything. State won't do anything. They're in lockstep. The Mormon Church, kill our populists, do whatever. Anything for a fucking buck. Brockovich came here. She came here. The fucking stair cycle. I mean, they're killing you. Don't you understand that? Don't you understand that it's us? You get caught up in this knee-jerk hyperbole instead of viewing what really counts. Your job, your economic status. What trumps all that? Your environment. The air that you breathe. The food that you eat. That's the foundation. They call it the hierarchy of needs. But what is the hierarchy? Look it up. It's been around for how many hundreds, if not thousands of years? As he said. Remember what he used to say? The top of hierarchy needs was water, then food, then sex. Oh, no, there's one above my hierarchy of needs. Air. Yeah, okay, your air's cut off and your water's cut off. How long can you live without air? Not very long. Fukushima's the great equalizer. And I told this, and people, they still don't see it, that Fukushima's the greatest story been told maybe in 2,000 years. The greatest story. That plume hammered us. It's in the jet stream. They're pointing at the Pacific Ocean every single day since 4/3/11, which I reported on 4/3/11. Don't want to listen to me? That's okay. Cassandra, this is getting more Cassandra-like every day. Look up who Cassandra was. Not only was the curse on her, but the curse was on her and all her heirs for time and all history. Apollo. Wow. People don't want to see, it's pretty outrageous that the reality, and we postured and groomed ourselves in the fundamental foundation things that we were taught as children. By our parents, by everybody. Yeah, those people all went away. Now our parents con us. Now our scout leaders con us. Now our coaches con us. There were them creeps there, man, but we always could rely on solid integrity because we had foundation. Not anymore. People can't think for themselves. They don't think for themselves. They get caught up in this knee-jerk, and this is such an iconic thumbprint of everything that is fucking wrong with the media. Everything that is wrong with the media. It's not media. You can't even Google. You can't find nothing. It's pretty funny. You type in Fukushima right now, you're going to get still going to get the same old. You're going to get CBS, NBC, ABC, then you're going to get me. It's pretty crazy that people are still waiting for confirmation. When I reported that freaking blast, that's why they're going over there, still waiting for confirmation. From who? H&K? In Japan? You do know who owns those. We'll talk more about this on Thursday, but come on, let's start acting like people and start giving a shit about each other and quit get caught up. Let's fight with our minds. Let's fight with our minds. Let's start caring about humanity. Let's start caring about each other. We really, as Iraq and Afghanistan, we don't give a shit about human life anymore, or every piece of DNA, plants, animals. Nuclear affected all.
Hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Plumgate, 311, whatever you